Welcome to a new edition of Harness Central. I'm Harold Howe, and I'm here with Dustin Jones, Classy Lane Training Centre near Pushlinch, Ontario. And Dustin, you're just back from the Lexington Selected Sale. I see about half a dozen. Wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy at all. Trotters were almost unheard to try to buy. I bid on a few and couldn't get them, and I had to buy the ones near the end of the sale.
A lot of Swedish names came up on the sale sheets. Do you feel they had a huge impact on what those prices were?
Oh, definitely, because the trotters were high, and the weak part of the market was the pacing colts. So that just shows you that the Swedish people were in there buying the trotters.
So you came back with half a dozen, and you had some previous to that already?
Yeah, I had a couple homebreds. Three homebreds actually, and I bought one at the Flamborough sale. And then I have another horse that's coming in, a filly or a colt out of Blur that's coming in.
So you got roughly a dozen already, and you've still got Forest City Sale and Harrisburg to go.
Yeah, I'm looking to maybe get a couple out of Forest City, and 3 or 4 or 2. Who knows? You could have one out of Harrisburg, could have 4 or 5. It all depends on the market.
Well, I know you spent a fair bit in Lexington, but you also made a fair bit with Nata Virgin, who won a division of the Glen Garnsey. And it was interesting that she performed so well, and it wasn't a particularly nice day, but she'd come into Lexington off a couple flat races up here. What's been her story?
Well, actually, they weren't really flat races, Harold. The first race, I missed the gate with her. I was like, she probably paced an eighth.
Who was driving her?
I was driving her. And I sort of mistimed the gate, and we'd be having the 9-hole, like it's sort of like a whip effect, the gate, so I had to chase it to get out of there. And she probably paced an eighth in 12 seconds before the race started. And then she came up a little flat finishing, but she had a reason. And then the next week, I got her up to the gate too soon, and I couldn't hold.
Who was driving?
I was again. So I got up to a little too close, and I couldn't back her off, and I was looking to get her in a hole, and there was no holes, so I had to go on to the front, and then I used her like pretty good to get to the front, and then she came up a little flat, but she was actually better than the week before. But it does, unless you were watching her or driving her, that you wouldn't have known that. But even going to Lexington, you always have that doubt in the back of your mind if I did something wrong or that, but I didn't think so. And Jody gave her a perfect drive, and that was actually...
Who was driving when she won?
Jody was. But don't tell him that. Don't. He doesn't need to get any more. He doesn't need any more help with his ego.
The fact is, in that division of 3-year-old pacing fillies this year, it seems like there's no one that can take the worst of it and jump up and beat that field, which makes it pretty interesting for the upcoming races, including the Breeders' Crown, where you're going to take her. Do you feel like that? Like half a dozen horses anyway could win it all?
Yeah, actually, that Uffizi Hanover was flying at the end. Like, we just beat her, getting ready to roll. Like, she was like just there to a third, and she was like first up. So like we were like third over, but like had a big sweep off the turn, and we got like the momentum. And in the other division, well, the horse that win it cut the mile. So I think it's whoever's going to get the trip. Basically when they're that even, that's usually what works out.
Right. Now she has the Matron next, and then the Breeders' Crown.
Yeah, we did have a race for her in Indiana, the Nadia Lobel, but it's 6 days before the Matron, and it's quite a ship to ship from Indiana out to there. So I think we're just going to maybe race her a week before in Mohawk, and then go to the Matron, and then it'll be 3 weeks in a row, and she can stay in Jersey.
Right. Now, as we talk, your barn's won over $800,000. You got a very good probability you'll go well over $1 million. Part of the reason has been your 2-year-old homebred trotting colt, Don't Rush. You got to feel pretty good the way he sits today heading into the OSS Super Final.
Yeah, I just hope we draw good, and he's been he's raced good all summer. He could have win his 5 gold events. His second gold, I got beat a nose, but it was in the mud, and I used him pretty tough. And the third gold event, I was going to put him in the hole, and I had to grab him up quick because the horse was backing in front of me, and he jumped it off. But he's been racing really good. And in the Wellwood, if we had had any flow, we would have been second, I think, in the Wellwood.
Right. And that will be it for him, or will you push a little further?
No. Actually, I didn't pay him in the Valley Victory, and I only made the nominating payment to keep him eligible at 3 for the Breeders' Crown. So that'll be his last start.
And Nata Virgin, she's going to be a keeper.
Yeah, well, Lynn and I raised her, and we decided at the start of the year we had inquiries about selling her, and we said we were going the route with her, and we'll end up race her probably next year, and if she didn't race good, we'll most likely breed her.
But you fellas sold mother.
Yeah, we sold the mother for $1,900 at the Delaware sale after we'd had to buy back Nata Virgin at the sale for $9,000. Actually, the first baby was a cripple, and she made it to the races, and then Nat was a buyback at $9,000, so we didn't think we had much of a future with the mother of Nata Virgin, but out pops Nata Virgin.
Well, more good things than bad things have happened to you this year, and congratulations, and hey, it's not over yet, so keep pushing.
All right, thanks a lot, Harold.
Harold Howe with Dustin Jones, giving you the Harness Racing Edge.